Hey guys, welcome back to Text Time with T. Today I will be showing you how to replace a front brake job. So let's get to it. Hey guys, first thing first, what we're gonna do is get the wheels off the ground by doing the jack. Jack on the frame, so I pick up the part of the wheels up front. So that's what I'm doing, and I want to show you probably how to do it. You can see there's a bump right here. That's where the part of the frame. So that's where you want to jack it up. So just take it nice and easy. That's all you need to do. Make sure it fit properly. And here we go. And just jack it up. Yeah, this is a heavy duty car. Alright. The wheel is up off the ground, so we're all good. Also, you want to do is put a jack stand under the car where the frame is. That's what I need to do for another safety. You never know, this is a hydraulic. Could come down anytime, and at least we have the jack stand support it. This one you do is, if you have the power drill, it's great to use. And you want to take out the 6 lug nuts on this car. So that's what I'm doing. There you go. One there, 2, 3, let's give me 6 of them. It's great to have the power tool. That's 6. And here you go, it's a little loose already. Just pick it up. It's your tires. But what you do is when you take off the tire, I would recommend put on the car again for not safety reason. It won't reach anyway, but it's alright. So what I'm doing now is right here. There's 2 bolts for the caliper, holding the caliper. There's one here, one on the bottom, one on the top. And what I'm using is a ratchet with a 14 socket, millimeter socket, and it's right here. What you want to do is want to loosen it first by tapping it. Basically, you will actually break in it. And here we go. It's loose. That's one. You can see, just use by your fingers, fine. And that's what it looks like. The short one. Take a top caliber ball. You use the same one, 14 millimeter socket. What you do is just break it to loosen up the. There you go. And just take it out. There you go. Almost there. By your fingers, fine. Here you go. Pretty short. That's the second one. Once you take out the 2 bolts, top and bottom, when you remove the caliper, this is what it is. This to access to the pads. And there we go. This is what the caliper look like. I actually have 2 pistons on this car. Heavy duty car. So once you take out the caliper, there's an inner pad and the outer pad. You want to just slide them out basically. Or if it's so rusty, just use the flathead. And that's what it looks like right there for one of them. That's for the inside. And then you do one on the outside as well. It should pop right out. So rusty, that's why. Give you a hard time here. And of course you can. There we go. Oh yeah, this is kind of bad. That's why I'm making noises here, like dragging noise. So the next one you do is to get access to the rotors, which we are going to replace as well. We got to remove the 2 bracket bolt, one on the top, one on the bottom. And I would recommend first is very tough to take out the bolt. What I recommend is use the breaker bar to loosen it first, and then you can just use your regular wrench and socket to take it out. It's counterclockwise, so make sure you don't clockwise, counterclockwise. And the next one you want to do is do the bottom bracket bolt. Same way. Make sure you do the if it's very tight, do the breaker bar and then use your wrench with the 19mm socket for both top and bottom. To get them out, that's all I'm doing. Okay, that's one long bolt, big bolt. And then that's the bottom one, and just do it on the top same way. Go loose with your finger. That's the second bolt. So once you got the two bracket bolt off, just the bracket just slide right out. That's what it looks like. Okay, this is that big bolt right here. This is for the bracket, and this is for the caliper. All right. Once the bracket came off, the rotor is like nice and loose. Just slide right out. Alright, the reason this is what it is look like. This is the rotors, and I can see the pads actually it's metal. Once the pad's gone, there's gonna be a metal which is chewing up all the rotor's surface. That's what it's doing, and that's what both sides of it I can see is like a streak like. Usually it's probably smooth, not like this. That's the reason why we are changing the rotors and the pads. Okay guys, this one is the rotors right now. We got it from Advanced Auto. It's a Conquest Platinum. The customer do not want a cheap one, so we have to get an expensive one. Quality, better rotors, and it would last longer. And it's from Conquest, and the part number is, you can see right here, hope you can see it, it's Y8145675P. That is the part number for 2011 Nissan Xterra and for the front rotors. Alright, let's check it out. The new one. Nicely opening the new rotors. Pretty oily. It's for protection, so I also would recommend if you want to use brake parts cleaner to clean up a little bit and wipe it with a cloth or a paper towel. So it's basically it's oily right now, and because they use it for protect it so it lasts longer. So you just use it nicely. So spray, wipe it clean, just getting the oil out. It's all pretty clean right now. And then put to the other side. Spray on the surface, and you wipe it out, and you're ready to put it in for the new rotors. Just put it right in here. Just for a hole for it, for the other thing, and for the stud. Call them stud. That's all you need to do for that one. And you just put a bracket back on this and pull it back in. When you put the rotor in, you want to put the bracket first. That's what I'm doing right now. Installing the bracket. And then there you go. What you want to do, you want to put the big bolt back. It's for the bracket. You want to use your hand to put it in first, and then you can use the ratchet afterward. Hopefully I'm not blocking you. The top, you'll move by hand, so make sure you go in a little bit. go into the groove, so you don't want to strip the bolt. Okay, once you tighten out a little bit by your hand, make sure the bolt goes in properly, and you use the 19mm socket and tighten a little more. Make sure you go right in. You can see better to do it by your hand first, and now you go in like much easier. And you don't want to tighten completely yet either, because you want to do the top first, or either way, top or bottom. You want to snug, and then you can put it real tight once you put both bolt in it, top and bottom. That's what I'm doing. Do the top first. Make sure I can go in. I don't want to be too tight. Okay. And now I'm going to go to the bottom one. Same thing. You want to use is the 19mm socket for the bottom one also. The top I did put it in, but not completely tight. So make sure it's going properly. The bottom, so that's even going in. Top one's already done, not completely in, but I want to make sure I go in balance at the same time. And I am using a 19mm socket. Yeah, pretty much time consuming on this thing. There we go. So it's going tight. Then once you tighten the bottom one, you want to do the top as well. This one's tight. So basically, I want to make sure I'm going to put the caliper back, and to put the caliper back, you kind of press in, the piston back in. So make sure you actually open up the hood and do the open up the what's it called, brake fluid reservoir cap, so that way the fluid can push up to the reservoir once you push in the piston. And here's the reservoir, and where the cap is, you want to take it off. Just take it off and just leave it right here, you know, to make sure you put it back, because that way basically that's what I'm doing is once you put the piston in, it push out the liquid, brake fluid, not brake fluid, brake fluid come back to the reservoir more smoother, so the piston can go in like quicker. So basically what I'm doing is, here's the two caliper, you gotta press it in. And what I want to do is use a old pads, like put it in here, like balance in it, and then you push it in. And we have a special caliper piston tools, I guess, to press it. But if you don't have it, you can also use the C-clamp. That's what they call it, and it's hard to do. But if you have one of these set of mainly for pressing the piston, will be much easier and faster. You just press it in. Try to go slowly on this, unless you just twist it. And go slow on it, so that way the pressure can go up to the reservoir and make the piston go in easier. Just keep pushing it in slowly. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit and then you do it again. That way you go in smooth. Alright, do the other side to balance it out. So basically you got two pads, one's inner pad and one's outer pad. And you just slide right in here. There you go. And also you want, once it's inside one, you just do slide the outside as well. Then you slide out the one outside also. And that's all you need to do, is just slide right in. So once you press in the piston, both sides, and then also put in the pad, you want to try to slide the caliper back in and align the hole with, and then put the bolt back on. So I said also, you want to use your hands first to screw it in. Try to put it in. Top and then the bottom afterward. Just use by your hand first to put it in, align the hole with the, put the bolt in. You see it on the bottom. As you can see, I am doing with my hands only, with fingers. So make sure it's not stripped. Put it in, and then tighten it with the socket. Once you try to tighten the bolt by your hand, your fingers, and then you really want to tighten with the 14mm socket. There's one there. Let me get up there. Put my shoulder in. Try blocking it, but I want to make sure it's really in. And that is it for the top. Do the same way on the bottom, 14mm socket, and tighten the bottom one as well. And make sure it's really tight, but you don't want to be really until you strip the bolt. And want to make sure it's really tight, and you want to tap it. And that is all you need to do. Once you tighten out the bolt with the caliper, you want to put back the tires. Really heavy tire, which want to line the hole. There you go. So what you want to put one bolt in first, and do it by your hand. Put it by your hand, and it's put one in. There you go. And then you're gonna do the rest by your hand first before you use the power drill again. One there. The sixth one. Also, when you want to put in the bolt back in, basically you want to do a triangle like take example, do one here and then go to the next one. Just keep going like every other bolt, so that way it go in balance. That's all we have to do. So once you put in the chain, the pads, and the calipers and the rotors, and we put the tires back on, we make sure you actually come back to the hood, top the front, to put the cap back on the reservoir for the brake fluid. While you're here, you can check, make sure you actually have enough brake fluid in it. And for my car, for this car here, it should be okay. So it's pretty, it's in between a minimum and maximum on this car, so it should be fine. So just close it back on, and you'll be all set to go. Alright guys, once you close on what's called the cap, the reservoir cap, before you go for a test drive, what you want to do is start your car up, and you want to pump the brake pedal several times, make sure it's very tight. The reason is, remember we actually press the piston in, so we can put in where the pad is, okay, earlier. So basically, once you press the brake pedal, the piston actually come back out. So it's against the pad to the rotors. That's how the brake work. So what I'm doing now, that's what I'm doing. Is pressing the brake pad. So actually, it's make sure it's tight before you go for a test drive. Start the car. So what you do is just pump the brake. Make sure it's going to make sure it's tight. Push back in, come back out, push it again. You can feel it or not, it's very tight, so you should be all set to go. Alright, we're good for the test drive. Let's do it.
How's the test drive going?
Good. Fine.
Car stopping?
Car's stopping. Brake's doing good.
Nice.
There you go. Always test drive it after you finish your brake job, especially rotors and pads, everything else. You want to make sure it's not squeaking, you know. Thanks, guys, for watching Tech Time with T. That would conclude my job for the 2011 Nissan Xterra, and don't forget to subscribe, view my video, 2 thumbs up, and never forget to subscribe. And you take care and you have a good one.